everyone, welcome back to my channel. Woo! That's a really awkward thing to do. It's going to be another, why do I do this with my head? Today we're going to do another sew along and I am super excited because it's a free pattern. Yes, we love free things. It is from Closet Core Patterns and it is their Pouf pattern. How many times am I going to say the word pattern? From closetcorepatterns.com, I signed up to their newsletter and I got access to their free resources library, which is absolutely incredible. And there's a step-by-step guide on there. I also, before I took the plunge of buying the fabrics, I had a look at the Closet Core Pouf hashtag, and so many people have made some gorgeous poofs. Okay, serious Elle. It's a really great scrap busting project and recycling project because on the outside you can use pieces of scrap fabric that you love that aren't big enough to make full-sized garments or patterns, and on the inside you can stuff it with all your old cut-offs and things that you don't really know what to do with but feel really guilty throwing away. I have a lot of said materials because I'm a hoarder. Really cool design. They're triangles. I'll show you a photo. I won't just try and explain it, but they're triangles on the top and then you have blocks around the side, and my description's probably not making any sense. I have decided to go with a pink and red theme because when you're growing up, everyone was like, you can't wear pink and red together. Well, I don't care. So I have this incredible pink with tigers. Are they tigers or are they cheetahs? Why have I forgotten the names of all animals? Super cute. So I will have to interface this as it is quite thin so that it can withstand all of the things that you're going to put on it, like your bum or your feet. I also got this chevron pink, also from Minerva.com polycotton. I think they're going to really complement each other. And then I'm going to jazz it up with some red polycotton that I have from making the first dress I ever made. This is the leftovers. I don't know why I bought so much, but I did. Adding a few triangles from this lobster red fabric because why not? Everyone loves a lobster. Some other supplies that you will need is a 22-inch zip. Oh, I'm sat on the zip. Okay. 22-inch zip. I'm using a white one because it was the only one I had in my cupboard. You can also use piping. I am going to admit the fact that I've never used piping before, but I have bought some piping and I'm going to give it a go. Is that a bad idea? Probably, but you know what? We gotta live and we gotta learn. Yeah, I think that's all the supplies that you'll need, apart from your sewing machine and some patience and a cup of tea. I had to add 2 more fabrics in because I worked it out wrong, and in order to get the 12 panels and the 12 triangles, I needed 6 different fabrics so I could do 2 of each. First of all, I interfaced the pieces that needed to be interfaced. Then I laid out my triangle pieces into the pizza pouf of my dreams. Now it's time to overlock all the long edges. If you don't have an overlocker, you can just use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. I tried chaining for the first time, which was definitely a new experience for me, and I probably did it wrong. Chaining is where you sew lots of pieces together at one time continuously. Now we're going to make 3 pairs. We're going to place one triangle on top of another and sew down one side. I actually tried sewing standing up for the first time. I'm not sure why. Also one-handed. It didn't go very well. Would not recommend. After you've created 3 pairs, you're going to sew them all together to make half of your pizza. You're then going to repeat this whole process on the other side, so you have 2 halves. Sew them right sides together along the middle center seam. Now time for my first attempt at piping. I would recommend you to look on YouTube at a piping tutorial if this is your first time as well. Now time for the zip. Zips are tricky and I hate them, but I've tried to show you as close up as possible which bits to sew. You need to sew the zip teeth facing down against the right side of the fabric, so the teeth and the fabric right sides together, and sew each length as you can see here. It's important to use a zip foot for this, not a normal sewing foot. Next, we sew the side pieces together, right sides together, along the long edges until you have one continuous long piece of fabric. After you've done this, you then press open all of the seams on the back and sew the short ends of your long strip of fabric together, making a loop. I now have my top, my bottom, and my side pieces ready to be sewn together. Attach the top piece to the side piece, right sides together, and sew around the outer edge. Watch out if you have the piping. You want to make sure you get really close to that piping edge so that when you turn it the right way out, it's nice and neat, unlike mine. Now you're going to attach the bottom. You need to make sure that you leave the zip open, so that's how you flip it out at the end. So once you attach it right sides together, you sew around the edge. I clipped my zip in place to make sure it laid flat. I also had a bit of excess fabric here. Oops. It's time to stuff the poof, Jeff. Stuff the poof time. Okay. Here it is, lifeless, and we're going to stuff it. So I've gone through my scraps and taken out all the bits that I know I'm not going to use for any upcycling projects or bigger pieces that I can make into garments, and we're going to stuff it. If I don't have enough, I also have some old cushions that I was going to throw away, so maybe I'll cut them up and stick them in, but let's see. So that's it. After stuffing it with a lot of fabric and quite a few cushions, the poof is done. There are a few mistakes, but I'm really happy with it and I absolutely love the colours.